Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode where you got to see the behind the scenes of our Limiting Beliefs Mastermind. Today, for episode number 388, we are going to talk all about 5 ways, 5 ways to be more consistent. I think Alan and I's consistency and our discipline is one of the things that has helped us out the most. And we're realizing very quickly that not a lot of people have that level of consistency and they struggle with that. So we want to talk about, some tangible takeaways that will help you today.
So we're going to talk a little bit of tactics today, but first I want to provide some context. So consistency. I think consistency is one of the rarest things. One of the rarest birds. Yes. The macaw. No. So consistency is very rare, honestly. I mean, I remember reading a David Meltzer quote on Instagram. It was super simple. He said, if you want to understand how in your own way you are, try to do 5 things for 30 days.
Yeah.
It is so unbelievable how inconsistent human beings really are. And if you can master consistency, you can master your life. And I believe the biggest bottleneck to consistency is self-discipline, but these are some hacks, tactics that are going to help you be more consistent.
David Meltzer also put up, I don't know if it was his quote or somebody else, Rome wasn't built in a day. It was built every day.
Ooh, that's fire.
Consistency.
2 fire quotes. But I believe that was David Meltzer. Yeah.
I don't know if he coined it or if he...
Either way.
Used it. But
Either
yes.
way.
And I think... Excuse me. Just had a salad. And I like to frame it this way. You're already consistent with certain things.
Yeah.
It just might not be the right things. Right? So if you can switch that consistency around, your life will look infinitely different. So we have 5 ways, and it's kind of like 5 ways plus 1. But, okay, so number 1, habit stack. What are you already doing consistently? Okay, so for my clients in the past, when I was really into the mindset coaching, it would be, okay, do your positive affirmations when you're brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth every day, right? Yes. Okay, do your positive affirmations then. That's habit stacking. What are you doing every single day that you can stack something onto? For me, where do I do the majority of my audiobooks? When I'm foam rolling in the morning, when I'm making my coffee, when I'm setting up my laptop, any like when I'm doing the dishes. Anytime I'm doing something where my mind is free and my body is doing something else, I'll try to do that. Driving.
Yeah.
Right? So right now I have a minimum of 40 minutes a day that I do audiobooks. Okay, that's my goal. The ride to the studio is 30. So if I don't want, I don't have to do it in the morning. I can habit stack and do it when I'm driving, right? But what is that for you? What is that for you? Because it's different for everybody. It's a little bit different for everybody, but you already have habits. Why can't we stack some other positive ones on top?
One other thing I want to say here about habit stacking, there's another term called a keystone habit. And what that means, and I'll give you an example. So for Kevin and myself, we've talked about this in the past, where when we're not working out in the gym, we find it far more difficult to be on point with our diet.
Oh, yeah.
So some people are the opposite. When they're on point with their diet, they have more incentive to work out because they want to use that food as fuel. For us, it's the other way around. Like when I'm going to the gym and training really hard, the last thing I want to do is let that hard work go to waste because of a bad diet. And so a keystone habit could be putting your shoes on first thing in the morning, your running shoes, because that's the keystone habit that's going to get you to actually go run. One thing that's huge for people is like putting on your gym clothes. When your gym clothes are on, you're already leveraging the investment bias of the human mind where it's like, okay, well, I already have my gym clothes on. I'm not going to take them all off now. So understanding habit stacking is important, but also keystone habits.
And make it simple too. Part of habit stacking. Like, don't force yourself to drive home to change to go to the gym. Bring your gym clothes with you and you can change in the locker room. Obviously, with COVID, everything's different right now, but anything like that. Right? Like bring the grocery list with you so you don't have to go home first, whatever it is.
There's a reason they put the candy at the register.
Oh, yeah.
They make it convenient. You need to make your good habits more convenient and your bad habits less convenient.
Yes, this is going to be a heavy David Meltzer inspired episode. Number 2, be a student of your calendar. Plan your day, especially the night before. People always, one of the things I always say to people is the best morning routine starts with the night before. It starts the night before. When you go to sleep, you should know what you're doing the next day. Plan your day out because it makes it far easier for you to be consistent on the right things because you're not doing what you feel like doing. You're doing what you know you should be doing. And a lot of times, there's a big difference. Again, I was on a podcast recently, and I basically said, look, if I always did what I felt like doing, I'd be playing Call of Duty right now.
Yeah.
I feel like doing this. I feel like sleeping in. I feel like not doing this, right? But it's not always about what you feel. It's about what you know will pay off.
Right. So what I do when I first wake up is I go straight to the whiteboard now. It was our whiteboard.
Yeah, right.
And
Interesting.
now
I wish I could go straight to a whiteboard. I'd have to drive 30 minutes to the studio to do that.
Now it's Jeff's whiteboard.
Jeff's whiteboard. Jeff
So
Tooze.
I get up in the morning, and the very first thing I do now is I get up and I go straight to the whiteboard. I put on my morning mindset workout, go to the whiteboard and plan my day. I write out all the musts, and then I circle them, and I circle 3 of them and then put number 1, number 2, number 3, and I force myself to do number 1 before I do any of the others. Today, it was making sure that I post last week's Mastermind on social media to encourage people, to remind them to come to the one today. Then it was reach out to each person who's been on previous Masterminds to let them know we're doing a Selling with Integrity Mastermind. Today's Monday. And then the other one, what was the third one? Be on time.
You were?
Yeah, I was.
A couple minutes early.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Fire.
and I had a bunch of other stuff on there, but I circled the ones that were most important. Let's say I put being on time not as important as something else, like doing my laundry that I have to do. It's like I might have chosen to do the laundry, think I had enough time, then be late. So it's not just a matter of being a student of your calendar. It's planning your day based on priority.
Okay, so number 3, this is probably my most favoritist. Create your own specific system of success. You guys have heard us talk about the system of success. We did a mastermind on it recently. We were talking about it almost every time we're on other shows. Design your day so you can be consistent. Like that. I mean, that's at the end of the day, if you wake up and you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, the chances of you being consistent on the things that really matter are pretty slim. Yeah. Unless you're very, very lucky. And what I started doing, I told Alan I was going to do this. I have a day-specific system of success now. So Monday is different than Tuesday, which is different than Wednesday. I have all the same stuff in terms of meditation, yoga, journaling, track finances, all that stuff, gratitudes. But I also have the stuff that's like the day-specific. So Monday, when we record these episodes, my day is a little bit easier in terms of like I'm not doing a lot of other stuff. I'm doing that system. I'm dropping some client episodes, I'm dropping our episodes, and then I'm in the studio all day. There's a reason my day is designed that way. So I can be consistent at this. So I can consistently show up the best version of Kevin in the studio. Tuesday is completely different. It's all back office day. I don't do any calls. I don't do any interviews. That is a day for me to catch up. So create your own system of success. It doesn't have to be that custom to start, but what are the most important things that you want to do consistently? Start there.
The thing I would also add is you have to have a trigger, behavior, reward. It's the habit loop. So, Kev, you have a notebook or a whiteboard. What do you check off? Notebook?
Right now, I check off my phone. I have it in I would show it to the camera if... Can I do that? I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Hold space.
I'm going to hold space. So the key and I do a system of success with every single client. If you're a client of mine, you know that we have what's called PPT, peak performance tracking. So basically, each of my clients has their own Google spreadsheet, and we track their productivity over time, TPO, total productive output. Now, the key, though, is not just, okay, Kevin's showing it to the YouTube screen. Yeah, there you go.
Look at that.
Nice.
So that's Monday's system of success.
So that's Monday's system of success. He's saying that, but I don't think you guys can hear him. So if you're on YouTube, you just saw that. But he has his in his phone. The key is to have something physical on your person that makes it easy to check it off. Whenever I feel overwhelmed within a day, I immediately go back to either the whiteboard or my notebook that has my system of success, and I go back through it and I figure out, okay, what's the next most important move? When you're thinking about 10,000 steps ahead, you get overwhelmed instead of doing the thing that matters most. And I think the physical trigger, I use the analogy of if you don't have your own water bottle, you're most likely not going to hydrate. If you don't have that physical water bottle on your person like Kevin does, and I have mine right here, although mine has coffee in it to admit to you, you're most likely not going to hydrate as much. Just same as the system of success. You've got to have a physical trigger on your person.
And this is something, I know you said you do this with your clients. I'm doing this with my podcast clients as well. What are the 5 most important things that we should be doing every day for your show? Like, that is going to help them stay consistent. We're going to talk more about accountability after. But if you want to grow in anything, right? Anything, you have to be consistent. And I think that's one of the hardest things for people, especially since there's so many ways not to be consistent. Yeah. There's so many ways to chase pleasure. Again, I'm as guilty as everybody else, but I plan for that.
Right.
You know, like, there's a big fight coming up. Okay, on Saturday, I'm working from 5 in the morning till noon, and that's it. I'm done. Don't text me. I didn't answer you over the weekend almost at all.
Right.
Right? Because I was away from my phone. I was still here, but I was away from my phone because I consciously chose
That's
that in
by
advance.
design.
Yeah, I need some time away sometimes.
Yeah.
I need some time away. Okay.
All day Sunday, I had a back office day. It was amazing. No calls were scheduled. I had my check-in with Emilia, but I had the whole morning with her and then the afternoon for solitude. Just remember that you're going to want to create space in your calendar for back office work that you're alone.
Yes.
There's nothing more productive than being alone in an office. Okay.
Number 4, say it out loud. What do I mean? Tell somebody about it. Make it known. Post it on social media. Tell your parents. Tell your boyfriend. Tell your girlfriend. Tell whoever, your coworker, your boss, whoever it is. Commit to it. Again, if you're running a marathon and nobody knows about it, it's a lot easier for you to slack.
Right.
Now, can you hold yourself accountable? Sure. But if it was easy, being consistent would be far easier, and it's just not. It's not.
Leverage the pain of embarrassment. Here's what I mean. When I did my show and I said I was going to win, it made me work harder, even though I didn't win. It made me work harder because I didn't want to get on stage and embarrass myself when I told everybody I was going to win. Right. Have the courage to say it out loud. And at the end of the day, people were just proud of me for getting on stage. But you got to understand, leverage the pain of embarrassment. You need to increase the pain of not acting. Here's one tangible example, and then we'll move on to the next one because we've got 3 minutes left. So, Kevin and I say to people all the time, publicly, say it out loud, that we never miss an episode. We've never missed. We talk about the story in the airport where I was editing an episode. I think it was with Anthony Trucks because it kept cutting out of the internet, and we had to go, find all the spots where it cut out. And we said we would have missed the plane before we would have not dropped an episode. When we keep saying that to the world, we don't want to be a hypocrite. So we're more likely to follow through. You need to get leverage on yourself. There's something about saying it publicly that's going to keep you accountable that you just can't do on your own.
I agree. All right, number 5, big one. Big one. Moment of silence. Find some way to build in accountability, whether it's hiring a coach, whether it's getting a peak performance partner. Again, what is the easiest way to consistently go to the gym? Find somebody else to go to the gym with. 2 reasons. 1, they'll motivate you to go. 2, you'll be motivated not to let them down. It's a lot harder to say, you know what, I'm too tired to go to the gym when you know somebody else's workout is either going to suffer or not exist because you didn't show up. That is a huge thing. Now, maybe it's a coach. Maybe it's hiring a coach for accountability. That's one of the reasons a lot of people hire coaches. But the other thing, too, is who are your associations? So if it's not a coach and you don't have a peak performance partner necessarily, who's in your life that is consistent? Who's in your life that is consistently showing up, that has good habits, that has discipline, that has ambitions? That's a whole other thing. We've talked about, that so many times. Relationships and the importance of the people surrounding you. This is one of the biggest things. How much easier would it be to go to the gym if your entire circle went to the gym?
I know.
You'd have so many more opportunities to be aligned with that. And what's the word when you mesh? You're in
perfect harmony.
No, but
you're in harmony?
No.
Integration.
We get there.
So accountability. What do I want to say about accountability? Number 1, be around people that elevate you by their example. Kevin, Emilia, my clients, the hyperconscious team, we don't slough off for the most part.
Slough.
We really don't. We're all unbelievably consistent. I mean, I was in Amy's numbers yesterday. She wouldn't mind me saying this. She's at 92%. That's really, really consistent. Mm-hmm. And she has a dozen things she does every single day. As a matter of fact, she's so good, we're upping the ante. But if you're around a bunch of people who are very lazy, for lack of better phrasing, it's going to rub off on you. Pretending that it's not going to is a problem. When you're around a bunch of people who always show up, step up, grow and contribute, you're going to naturally, that's going to rub off on you. So you got to leverage that. The last thing I will say is even just the awareness that my clients have that I'm looking at their spreadsheets is helping them be more consistent because they know I'm checking in. They've asked me for accountability. Here's what I'll say. I asked Kevin for accountability with being late. So don't what if I made Kevin make me accountable? Kevin's not going to say, hey, you have to be late. That sucks. Whereas if I have to be on time, instead of me saying, Kevin, please help me be on time by holding me accountable, it was affecting Kevin negatively by me being late. And now we talked about it. We drove to 5, and now I have more why power, more accountability to be on time. And so far, so good.
So far, so good.
But
4 for 4.
That was a tough conversation of accountability, and I asked him for help in that arena. So that took humility as well.
Yeah, it did. Guys, let us know if you like this. So I love doing the 3 ways, 10 ways, whatever ways episode because it's tactical and it gives you the information you need right now. That's the way I am. Let us know if you dig this because we're going to try to do one of these a week, and then you'll see what we have for the rest of the week. Look at that. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
And a couple things. Number one, if you want to be part of a group of like-minded individuals, Hyperconscious Nation is the place for that. You can go to the website, Hyperconscious Podcast, thehyperconsciouspodcast.com. And it's at the top of the page. Also, Alan and I are doing separately and together free 30-minute consultations. I'm talking about podcasting. So if you're a podcaster, you want to be a podcaster, if you want to monetize your show, you want better teaser clips, better guests, better questions, all of that happy jazz, I would love to help you. Just DM me. Again, the goal is to just add value for 30 minutes. That is the ultimate goal.
It takes one message, the courage to reach out to one person that can change your life. Whether it's joining us on the weekly Masterminds Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or it's sending myself, Kevin, or Amy a message about the coaching, the free consultation calls, our only goal is to change the trajectory of your life forever. It's a heavy order, but we can do it. We've seen it happen. It's not woo-woo, it's tangible. Like, we're not going to sell you, we're just going to help you. And I really, really have started to love those calls, especially the dual ones.
Fire. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will talk to you on Friday.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.